Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mary and today's video is going to be a 3 looks 1 palette review with swatches of the NYX Ultimate Utopia palette. So this is a 40 pan palette. It's huge. Sorry, it's reflective because it's got like a plastic cover. So this is it. You can see the colors that I've used. I haven't used everything in this palette yet. I actually, spoiler alert, this is only the second look that I filmed. We're supposed to have the roofers come, and I need to have the bulk of this filmed before they start roofing. So I figure I can do one other look, and if I have to, I'll do a voiceover for it if it's too loud. But I wanted to be able to film the intro and the outro, if that makes sense. So I'm doing that right now, and then I don't know when they're gonna get here, or if they're even coming, to be honest with you, because I think they were supposed to be here last week, and then they dropped. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But anyways, okay, so I'm gonna insert the swatches here. So that's the first row. You can hardly see it. Let me try to get a better view of it. If I get it in direct sunlight, is that better? That's the first row of swatches, the first 8. Oh yeah, do you see that line? That's really pretty. And there's this army green and this, ooh, that's pretty too. Very sheer, like a toppery shade, but gorgeous. That one's rougher feeling. So there's that. It's just like a rosy brown. That gold is very pretty. Oh yeah. And that purple is really pretty too. So that's almost the full second row. There's 2 more shades. We'll do the 2 last shades on my hand. Okay. It's like a purpley gray. Ooh, and that shimmer is like, is that supposed to be a duochrome? I don't know. But it has like a very shiny finish. So that's the first 2 rows of pigment. Okay, so then we'll do the next 2 rows. Those are really pretty. That's my favorite shade in the palette, I think. It's not even doing it justice. It's so pretty. So this is that 3rd row. And then the 4th row starts with like this mustardy brown. So that's the black. It probably could be built up more, but not super pigmented on the first swipe, which I prefer, to be honest with you. A really pigmented black kind of freaks me out. Last bit. It's like a gunmetal, and like you can see better on camera that it's different than the black, but it's like a purpley dark brown. But those are the next 2 rows. Okay, last row. Starts with some really nice deep mattes. And again, I don't know if the glitter is picking up on camera as well as it is on my actual arm, but like it's covered in glitter now. Just because those shades being like rubbed off, I think it rubbed the glitter up my arm. Oh yes. The shade I was so excited about, and then it looks, I'll show you it. It looks beautiful on the finger, like a deep olive, but for some reason when you swatch it, or when you apply it to your eye, it mostly comes off, like you can see a little bit in the camera that it's got like a green reflect to it, but the base is so dark that it just looks like a really dark, like brown or black shade, which was kind of a disappointment, but fine, I guess. And the last 2, but there, ooh, that's beautiful. So those are the last swatches. Ta-da! This is the bottom row. This palette, I will say, I haven't used, again, all of the colors. Some of the mattes, like the murkier greens that I used to create this look that you'll see, were a little harder to blend, which seems pretty standard across the board. The murkier shades in my Melt Vita palette are the same way. The murkier mattes are harder to blend together, and that's obviously a higher end palette. So I don't think it's just this formula. Some of the shimmers are kind of underwhelming in here. You'll have seen the swatches. Some of them are really, really pretty. A lot of them you have to be built up to be more opaque. The gold one is very, there's like not a base to it, so it's just like glitter almost, which I don't think it is pressed glitter. Another thing I wanted to point out, the back, over half the shades, there's 21 yellow shades, and that means that they're not eye safe because they're pressed pigments, which you can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. I'm pretty sure pressed pigment is just, it's not a different formula. It's just a standard eyeshadow that uses an ingredient that is either like will stain the eyes or just hasn't been proven to be safe for use near the eyes. So this says it cannot be used on the eye area or around the eye area. I didn't pay any attention to that when I did this. And also I don't know which way to read these numbers. Am I an idiot? If you know that, you can let me know down below too. Anyways, I used whatever shades I wanted and didn't really pay attention to that, but I always do that. So just if that's a concern for you, be warned. I haven't noticed any staining of my lids. I've only used it a handful of times, but I haven't noticed any staining. If that has changed, I'll leave a pinned comment. But yeah, I think it's fine. I also have the eyeliners. Where's the other one? So I have the teal one that I've used a few times, and then this olive green one, which I haven't used. Maybe I'll just throw it on. Should I do that? Sorry, I have to open it. All right, so these are the NYX Epic Wear eyeliners. I got this in the shade All Time Olive, and I have Turquoise Storm. This one I've used twice. Also very pretty. They're very creamy. That's them, swatched on my hands. Obviously, All Time Olive, Turquoise Storm. I will say, at least for me, after, I guess it lasts about six-ish hours, which is not bad on the waterline, but this did start to not bleed, but just like pick up to my upper waterline and then sort of stopped working. But let's try the olive on. Let's see how she applies on the eyes. You know what? I'll zoom you. I don't know how well this is going to work because I need to get it in my eye. So you see, it doesn't really appear to be applying very well. So I just struggled with that for a few minutes. It seems to be like applying to the lashes, but it's not really in the waterline at all. It looks pretty. The teal one did go into the waterline a lot better than the olive one did. I'll have to play around with those and see if I can get them to work. I've heard really good things about the NYX eyeliners, so that's kind of confusing to me, but it's a pretty color. I'm sure I can make it work somehow. I might even try to do like graphic eyeliner with it or something. That would be really fun. But yeah, that's, I guess, my full review is that mattes can be a little hard to blend. Shimmers need to be built up. I think this palette is $35. And to be honest, I don't know if it's worth it. If you are dying to get it, I think it would be worth it. I love this color story. This type of color story is something that I will reach for all the time. If it's not something you'll reach for all the time, obviously don't get it. I would say that about any palette. I don't care what it is. You probably don't need it if you're not going to reach for it. It's just my opinion. But yeah, it's not bad. It's not the best thing I've ever used. It's not the worst palette I've ever used by far. But I'm just sort of whelmed with it, I guess. It is really, really pretty. Like I said, I do really, really enjoy the color story. I really, really enjoy some of these beautiful shimmers like this. There's this taupey shimmer, which you can't even really see, but it shows up beautifully in the eyes. This grape and that blue. But see, this shimmer formula is very like shiny. And I almost feel like they want to be duochromes, but they're not that spectacular. I feel like this palette looks maybe a little bit prettier than it actually is. I do like that there's a lot of light shades to lighten things up. There's a black to deepen things up. There's some deep colors. So you really do a full look with this, which I appreciate. There's some cool tones, there's some warm tones, some neutrals, some colors. I think it's a good all-around palette. I don't think it's great. So it's the NYX Ultimate Utopia palette. It's got 40 shades, and I just thought I'd point out on the back there's a graphic, and the yellow ones are not eye safe, and it's 21 shades. So just over half the palette you're not supposed to put on your eyes. But I don't care. So I'm going to do whatever I want. Yeah, let's try to open this. But this is what it looks like. 40 shades. There's like purpley blues, a lot of warm neutrals, and then like some olive greens, some golds. I'm pretty excited about this. So I think I'm just gonna do something really boring today. Do like a ready eye look. That's my plan. I need to grab a mirror from something. So I think I'm just gonna start by taking this neutral beige shade and patting it all over my lids. I have a little bit of concealer on the lids, so this should just set it down. This brown shade right here in the crease. Sorry, the screen just moved. I added a mirror to my setup and we're gonna see if that works. Looks pretty pigmented. Okay, and then I'm gonna take this reddish shade and we're gonna tap that in the outer corner and through the crease just to deepen everything up a tiny bit. And then I'm gonna add a mixture of this dark red and this like plummy shade. And I'm just gonna deepen the outer corner even more, just like very gently dotting in either of those and kicking off any excess. Oh yeah, like a plum brown almost, the deepest one that I was looking at. And we're just gonna blend that into the crease. And then from there, on the lids, I'm gonna take, just using my finger, this shade. It's like a shimmery red, like that. But I'm gonna tap that on the outer part of the lid. It feels very soft in the pan. Soft and smooth. It's not like a weird texture or anything. And then I'm gonna tap this like light peach looking shade, like that, on the inner part of the lid. Just like that, and blend it on over. And then just for funsies, I'm gonna take this like gold glittery shade and use it on like the inner part of my lid as well. I'm gonna use it with a brush though. I have a feeling it'll work better that way. Just using like a flat top brush, not flat top, but just a like this type of brush. I don't know. I'm gonna go in with that. I wanna see how it applies dry. I'm just gonna tap that on the centers of my lids. Ooh, very subtle, but very pretty going on dry. And I'm just gonna sort of tap that all over everything, just to give everything like a very nice, can you see that, like a gold glimmer. And then since that is so sheer, I'm gonna add it to my brow bone. And I'm gonna pop some of that in the inner corner as well. But I'm gonna do my lower lash line now. And I think I'm just gonna take the shimmers that I used on the upper lash line along the lower lash line. So that brick red coppery shimmer on the outer part. Just using my finger. And then on the inner part, I'm gonna take that peachy shade again. And then to blend everything, using the same fluffy brush from before, I'm gonna take that lightest brown shade that we used, this one, that like orangey brown, and I'm gonna mix it with like an even lighter tan over here. I'm just gonna run that right along there. I think I'm gonna do winged liner and then my lip and my mascara, obviously, and then I'll come back and show you the finished look. This is the finished eye look for day one. I just added some winged liner and just like my brown Urban Decay lip gloss. I like the way this came out. This is a very everyday look for me. This like color story, that's why I sort of wanted to play with this first. I'm thinking for the next one, I'll play with the greens and blues maybe. This is look 1 of 3 and stay tuned for the next 2. We are doing a green look today. So this is look 2. So I'm gonna zoom you in a little bit on the eyes. And then I'm using a mirror from my e.l.f. palette. To start, I'm just going to take these two mixed in the crease. And I do have my lids primed with concealer. And then to deepen that crease just a little bit, I'm going to take this like pukey matte shade at the bottom here. Seem to blend a little patchily. They take a little more time, I've noticed, to blend and not be patchy. I'm gonna take this lime green right here, just on my finger. This is a really soft formula. Looks like that. It's like a Tinkerbell green almost. It's very pretty. And I'm gonna put that on my lids. As you can see, in one layer, definitely green. It's just a little more sheer, so I'm gonna do a second layer. And then to deepen the outer corner, I'm gonna take the army green that's right next to that, this shade right here. But that's just gonna go right in that outer corner. And I'm also gonna take that and run it along my lower lash line. And then we're gonna take that pukier green that we used in the crease, and I'm just gonna blend the edges of that. Then I'm going to take a very yellow gold, this one right here. I'm gonna put that in my inner corner and in the center of my lower lash line. As a little bit of like a pop, I guess. And then I'm just gonna take this shade maybe. But that's gonna be my brow bone highlight. And that's gonna be the eye look all done. Oh, I am gonna just run on a tight line. This is a Laura Mercier caviar stick in Cocoa, but you could just use brown eyeliner. I just don't have any brown eyeliner. I have this. So I'm gonna tight line and then do mascara and a lip, and then I'll be right back. Hello, I'm back. I forgot I did get for free, I didn't order this, but in my order, I also got the NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Brulee, or Creme Brulee, sorry. And I just have on my Dose of Colors like lipstick. It's in the shade Brulee. So I figure these are probably a match made in heaven, but I'm gonna apply this on camera. I've never used this before. I just opened it up. Sarah Rose really likes this shade or this formula. I feel like she's the one I always hear talking about the NYX Butter Glosses. It feels nice. It's not thick at all. It's like a very thin formula gloss if you haven't tried this. I like that. It's not super glossy, but it's very subtle, and I could see this being something that I could reach for a lot because it seems very wearable to me. But this is the final look. Hello, it's time for look 3. So I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. So this is the look we're going for today. It's a bit crazy. It doesn't look as good as I wanted it to, but it's fine. We're just gonna get started. So to start, we're gonna use this forest green shade again, or like army green rather. So I'm just gonna pat that on the outer corner and outer half of the lids. I'm just gonna build that color up a little bit. Then, in the crease, I'm gonna take this like berry purpley shade, and we're just gonna pull that in the crease and above that green shade. So I'm gonna start in the center of the crease. Take more of the green. blend over the top of both of those with a peach shade. So I'm gonna use this peach shade right here. So I'm gonna run that peachy pink above all of that. And then I'm gonna take this deep teal right here, and I'm just gonna have that on my outer corner to just deepen the effect. I'm gonna add in a little bit more of the berry shade, just to bring that back to the center here. Yeah, and then I'm gonna blend a bit more peach. What I'm doing here is going back and layering all the shades again to bring those colors back in, and blending and layering and blending and layering and blending. And I think I'm gonna take this really pretty like seashell-y pinky shade on my lids. This is one of those where you really do have to just build it up, because on the first application, it's like a very sheer glitter, but you can sort of dig your finger in there and get a good payoff eventually. And then what I'm gonna do is add a bit more of that army green to the outer edge of the eye. And I'm gonna blend a bit more of the teal. I tap over with the same shadow finger on the green just to bring that back. That's sort of the effect that I'm going for with this like sunsetty moment here. For the lower lash line, I'm gonna take that teal and run it along the outer edge of the lower lash line. And then I'm gonna take my favorite shade in the palette, this really pretty shimmery tealy light blue shade, and I'm gonna put that along the inner part of the lower lash line. And then I'm just going to use the opposite end that I had that peachy shade on. I'm not adding anything new. I'm just running that along so that it like sort of diffuses and blends out. And then I'm going to take a mix of this matte cream, pinky cream shade and this like shimmery seashell shade and put that on the inner corner. And then I'm just taking the matte and putting it on the brow bone. Just to give some lift to that brow bone, because I did blend these colors a little bit far up. I'm trying to decide if I want to add this teal eyeliner to this. I might do that. I'm going to put teal in the waterline, and then I think I might do a wing. I'm going to play with it off camera, and then I'll come back. But I think I am going to put, this is the turquoise storm, and I'll be back to show you the final look when I'm done. And I'm back to show you the final look. The blending is a little patchy, but I think this is really pretty. This might be my favorite look that I've done with the palette so far. That is my full review of the NYX Ultimate Utopia palette. I had to read the name. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you made it to this point in the video, I love you so much. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And let me know your thoughts down below. Are you going to pick this palette up? Have you already picked it up? Did you pick up the sister palette? I would love to know. But that's it from me today, guys, and I will see you on Sunday. Bye!